My husband slept with my daughter's friend. She just turned 18. I want him out of my house and away from my daughter. Her friend is begging me not to tell anyone. But I will let everyone know. I, 46F, am writing this while shaking. I don't know how to start this, or how I'm even going to sleep tonight, but here goes. My husband, 48M, the man I've been married to for 21 years, the father of my daughter, slept with her friend. A girl I've known since she was 13. A girl who's been in my house, at my dinner table, on our family vacations. A girl who just turned 18 last month. Yes, you read that right. She had her birthday a few weeks ago. And apparently, that was enough for my husband to convince himself he wasn't doing anything technically wrong. But morally, ethically, emotionally, he's a predator. My daughter, Alyssa, 17F, is about to start her senior year. Her best friend, Maya, 18F, has been around constantly for years. Sleepovers, pool days, study sessions. Honestly, she was like a second daughter to me. I trusted her. I trusted him. Last week, I noticed Maya was acting off. Distant. Twitchy. She avoided eye contact. Wouldn't stay over like she used to. Barely said 2 words to me. Alyssa kept asking what was wrong with her. I just assumed maybe there was teen drama going on. Then 2 nights ago, I walked into the kitchen to grab my charger, and I saw Maya and my husband whispering by the back door. He jumped back like a guilty teenager caught cheating on a test. She looked like she wanted the floor to swallow her whole. I didn't say anything at the time. I just watched them. Quietly. I already knew. I just didn't have proof. So I did something I'm not proud of. I went through his phone the next morning while he was in the shower. What I found made me want to burn the house down. They started flirting 2 months ago. Nothing obvious at first. Just too many emojis. Too many. LOL, you're so bad. Texts. Then there were late-night messages like, "You sure this is okay? We can't tell anyone. Your mom would freak. You're so mature for your age. You make me feel young again." I wanted to vomit. I was shaking, gasping, sobbing, all at once. And then I found the pictures. You can guess what kind. I couldn't even look. I just felt violated, betrayed. I felt dirty in my own home. I confronted him immediately. He tried to lie, of course. Said it was just harmless flirting. Then when I showed him the screenshots, he had the nerve to say, "Well, she's 18. It's not illegal. Let me tell you something. When your husband uses legality as his defense instead of morality, you know you're married to someone who doesn't have a soul." She begged me not to tell anyone, begged me not to ruin her life, said she regretted it, that he initiated everything, that he groomed her, that it started emotionally before she even turned 18. I wanted to scream at her, but I didn't, because I saw the fear in her eyes. I saw the guilt, the shame, the absolute wreckage inside her. She was manipulated. I don't care how grown she thinks she is. My 48-year-old husband knew exactly what he was doing. She said, and I quote, "Please don't tell Alyssa. She'll hate me forever. She'll never speak to me again." And she's right, because Alyssa loves her. But Alyssa is also fiercely protective of me, and she adores her father. I am stuck in the ugliest triangle imaginable, one created by a man who decided his ego and lust were more important than our family. Here's what I'm doing now. I already made an appointment with a divorce lawyer. I'm done. That line wasn't just crossed, it was incinerated. I've backed up every message and photo I found. He's not getting out of this with a midlife crisis defense. I gave him 48 hours to leave the house. If he's not out by tomorrow night, I will make this public. I don't care who sees it. I haven't told Alyssa yet. That's the hardest part. She's upstairs right now as I type this, playing music, totally unaware that her childhood just shattered beneath her. I'm going to tell her. I have to. Not just because she deserves the truth, but because he needs to be removed from both of our lives. Maya, I'm torn. I believe she was manipulated. But she's still a participant in a betrayal that will follow my daughter forever. Do I tell Maya's parents? I'm leaning toward yes. Not to punish her, but because this can't stay secret. It shouldn't stay secret. And no, I don't care if it ruins him. He ruined us. He made my home unsafe for my daughter. He used his position of trust, of authority, to flirt, to groom, to touch a girl young enough to be his own child. He's a monster in a nice shirt, and I don't protect monsters. I'm writing this for myself, for the woman who ignored the signs, for the mother who feels like she failed her daughter, for the wife who believed he would never, and maybe for you too, the reader who thinks this could never happen in your house. I thought that too, but now I'm here, cleaning up the emotional fallout, planning how to tell my daughter that the man she idolized is the reason her best friend is no longer allowed through the front door. I am devastated, but I'm done being powerless. If I have to burn everything down to protect my child, so be it. He will never be allowed near my daughter again. Not in my house. Not in her life. Not ever. I will make sure of that. A mother who's choosing fire over silence. Update: my husband slept with my daughter's best friend. I kicked him out. I told everyone. This is what happened after. Hey Reddit, I'm the woman who found out her husband was sleeping with her daughter's 18-year-old best friend and promised she'd burn it all down. I posted about it a few months ago. I didn't expect the response I got. Hundreds of messages, support, stories from people who went through similar betrayals. I felt seen for the first time since this nightmare started. So I wanted to come back and share what happened after I threw the match. Spoiler, it was every bit as awful as I expected, and still the best decision I ever made. After I caught him, after I showed him the messages and the photos, he didn't cry. He didn't beg. He just looked at me like he was inconvenienced. She's 18, Lisa, he said. This doesn't have to be the end of everything. I stared at him, jaw clenched. You really think this is about the law? You had sex with a girl who calls me mom sometimes. A girl who sleeps under our roof. He shrugged. It just happened. She's mature for her age. You and I haven't been close in months. That's when something broke in me. Not because he tried to blame me, but because I realized he truly believed what he was saying. Like this was a normal mistake. Like seducing a vulnerable girl who trusted him was just unfortunate timing. I told him to leave. You have 24 hours, I said. If you're not out, I go public. Her parents, your boss, everyone. Try me. He moved out the next day. He packed like a man heading to the gym, casual, smug. No remorse, just a half-hearted. Maybe you'll calm down eventually. I waited until he was gone. My daughter, Alyssa, 17, was sitting on the living room floor organizing her college application folders. Her hair was in a messy bun. She looked so young, so focused. I almost couldn't do it, but I had to. I sat next to her and said gently, "Can you put that away for a minute? I need to tell you something serious." She blinked. "Is Dad okay? Did something happen?" I felt my chest crack. "It's about Dad. And Maya." I watched her face shift from confused to concerned to terrified in the span of seconds. "What? What do you mean?" I took a breath. I found messages. He and Maya, they were having a relationship. A physical one. I confronted him. He admitted it. He's gone. Silence. Her face drained of all color. No. You're lying. I wish I were." She stared at me like she didn't recognize me anymore. Then she stood up, walked outside barefoot, and screamed into the yard. A sound so raw I'll never forget it. She didn't speak to me for 2 days. I let her take her space. I slept in the guest room and cried quietly into a pillow at night. On the 3rd night, I heard her knock on my door. She came in, eyes red and puffy. "Tell me everything." I did. Every detail I had. Every message I read. I spared her the worst of it, but she knew. She knew more than I realized. "He used to make weird comments about her," she said. "I thought it was just Dad being awkward. I never thought he'd actually..." Her voice cracked. "Do you think she wanted it?" "No," I said. "I think she was confused, and I think he manipulated that confusion to get what he wanted." She nodded slowly. "I hate him. I hate her. I hate everything." Then she said something I'll never forget. "I don't even know who I am anymore." Was I not enough for either of them to think about how this would affect me? I held her while she sobbed. I didn't have an answer. I still don't. A week later, Maya sent a letter. A real one. Written by hand, folded neatly into an envelope. I gave it to Alyssa without reading it. She took it into her room, locked the door, and didn't come out for hours. When she did, she handed me the torn halves. She said he started flirting before I even turned 18, she told me. said she felt like she owed it to him, that he made her feel special. She paused. She said she was sorry, that she ruined everything. But Mom, she didn't ruin it. He did. I nodded, tears in my eyes. You're right. My lawyer moved fast. We filed immediately. My husband tried to negotiate visitation. Not with Alyssa, thank God, but to keep access to the house. I said no. Flat. My lawyer shut it down before it became a conversation. I have full ownership of the home now. I kept everything that mattered. Every document, every screenshot. My lawyer said, we're not just getting you divorced. We're protecting your future. She's a bulldog in heels. I owe her more than I can say. We both started therapy. Separately at first, then together. Alyssa's therapist has been a lifeline for her. Mine too. We've had hard conversations, even screamed at each other once. But underneath it all, we're rebuilding, with honesty and love and lavender paint in the living room. Yes, we painted. Alyssa chose the color. It smells like a fresh start, she said. She's still grieving. So am I. But we laugh again. We make pancakes on Sundays. We dance in the kitchen sometimes. We're not fixed, but we're healing. Alyssa said something a few nights ago that stopped me cold. He broke my heart. But you saved my life, Mom. I don't feel like a hero. I feel tired. I feel bruised. But I also feel proud. Because I kept my promise. I didn't stay silent. I didn't protect his image. I protected her. And I'll keep doing it. For as long as I breathe. To anyone reading this, if someone has made your home feel unsafe, if someone you love is crossing lines you can't unsee, you do not owe them your silence. Protect your peace. Protect your children. Protect yourself. He's gone. We're still here. And we're building something better from the ashes and in our own names. Lisa, a mother, survivor, and woman who finally chose herself. Final update. 1 year later, Alyssa's graduation, my ex facing consequences, and Maya reaching out again. Hi Reddit. It's been a year since I first shared the nightmare of discovering my husband slept with my daughter's best friend. So much has happened since then. Some hard, some healing, and I wanted to come back and close this chapter here. Last month, Alyssa graduated from high school. I honestly wasn't sure she'd even want to walk the stage after everything that happened. But there she was, standing tall, wearing that cap and gown, glowing with the kind of quiet strength that made me proud beyond words. Before the ceremony, she turned to me and said, Mom, thanks for saving me, for not letting that ruin me. I'm ready for what's next. We cried together, hugged so tight I thought we'd never let go. We've applied to colleges, and Alyssa's been accepted into a great program she loves. She's still cautious with trust, but she's learning to believe in people again, mostly herself. In the months after I went public, his life unraveled faster than I expected. His job fired him after HR did an internal investigation. Apparently, there were previous complaints he'd managed to hide or dismiss. The news spread through his family and social circles. Some friends disappeared, some confronted him, and others turned cold. He tried reaching out once or twice, asking for forgiveness or a second chance. I blocked him immediately. Alyssa wrote him a letter, which she never sent, but reading it was cathartic for her. She told me, I don't hate him anymore. I just want him out of my life. 2 weeks ago, I got a message from Maya. It wasn't on social media, but an old-fashioned email. Careful, respectful, almost hesitant. She wrote, I've been in therapy for over a year now. I'm trying to understand what happened and how to make amends, but I don't expect forgiveness. I wanted you to know I'm sorry for the pain I caused, especially to Alyssa. I know I betrayed her trust, and I'm trying to be better. I don't want to come back into your lives, but if you're open to it, I'd like to meet, for closure if nothing else. I showed the message to Alyssa. We sat on the couch in silence for a long time. Then Alyssa said, I'm not ready. Maybe someday, but not now. I agreed, and I replied to Maya, saying we appreciated her honesty, but that healing isn't linear, and we'd reach out if and when we felt ready. Life isn't perfect. There are days when memories still sting, when trust feels fragile. But Alyssa and I have built a new normal, one filled with honesty, therapy, laughter, and hope. She's more resilient than I ever imagined, and I'm more determined than ever to protect her. If you're reading this, stuck in a painful situation, whether it's betrayal, abuse, or trauma, know that healing is possible. It's not easy. It's not quick, but it's there. Protect yourself, protect your children, and don't be afraid to ask for help. Thank you, Reddit, for being part of this journey with me. Your kindness helped me find my voice when I thought it was gone. Lisa, a mother who survived the fire and is building something stronger from the ashes. Would you like me to write fictional Reddit comments reacting to this post? Or maybe a private conversation between Alyssa and Maya years down the line? You said, could you make it more detailed? ChatGPT said, certainly. Here's a more detailed and dialogue-rich final post, 1 year later, showing the nuances of healing, the emotional complexity between the characters, and the consequences faced by the ex and Maya's outreach. It includes conversations, reflections, and vivid moments. Final update, 1 year later, Alyssa's graduation, my ex facing consequences, and Maya reaching out again. Hi Reddit. It's been exactly 1 year since I shared the hardest truth I've ever faced, that my husband was sleeping with my daughter's best friend, Maya, just after she turned 18. I promised I'd update, and here I am. The past year has been a roller coaster of pain, growth, and hard-earned healing. I want to share what life looks like now. Last month was Alyssa's high school graduation. I wasn't sure she'd want to do it. After everything, she'd been so withdrawn. But she surprised me. On the morning of the ceremony, she sat at the kitchen table, nervously tapping her diploma cover. Me, you nervous? Alyssa, a little. It feels weird, like a new chapter, but the old one is still open. She looked at me with those fierce eyes I hadn't seen in a long time. Me, I'm proud of you, more than I can say. Alyssa, thanks Mom, for not giving up on me, on us. We hugged tight before she left. Watching her walk across the stage, head held high, I felt a rush of hope. She was still healing, but she was standing tall. After I made everything public, including showing the messages to Maya's parents, my ex's life started to crumble. A few months in, I got a call from his HR department. Apparently, there were complaints from coworkers about inappropriate behavior, and this incident pushed them to terminate him. He texted me once from a new number. Lisa, I'm sorry. I messed up. Can we talk? I blocked him without responding. Alyssa wrote him a letter but never sent it. Excerpt from Alyssa's letter. You broke my trust and my home. I don't hate you anymore, just want you gone from my life for good. She said to me, eyes firm, I don't want to waste energy on him anymore. He made his choice. 2 weeks ago, I received an unexpected email from Maya. It was tentative, carefully worded. Dear Lisa, I don't expect you to forgive me. I'm writing because I want to own my mistakes. I've been in therapy for months, trying to understand how I let this happen and how to be better. I'm sorry for hurting Alyssa and you. If someday you and Alyssa want to talk, I'd be willing to meet for closure. I showed Alyssa the message the same evening. We sat in the living room, the air thick with silence. Me, what do you think? Alyssa, voice barely above a whisper. I'm not ready. I don't know if I ever will be. Me, we don't have to decide now. Whenever you're ready, if ever. Alyssa, thanks Mom. I emailed Maya back. Thank you for your honesty. Healing takes time. When and if we're ready, we'll reach out. Life isn't perfect. Some nights Alyssa still wakes up from nightmares. Sometimes we argue over small things that remind us of the past. But the lavender walls of the living room, freshly painted last spring, remind us we've rebuilt something safe. We've started cooking together regularly. Just last week, Alyssa smiled while we tried making homemade pasta. A small victory. One night, after dinner, she said quietly, I still have scars, but I'm not broken. Me, neither am I. We're survivors, and we'll keep moving forward. Alyssa, thanks for being my safe place. Me, always. If you're going through something similar, betrayal, broken trust, a painful secret, please know healing is possible. It won't be quick or easy, but there is light ahead. Protect yourself, trust your instincts, and lean on people who care. Thank you to this community for the strength and support you gave me last year. You helped me find my voice and courage. 1 year later, we're still standing, and that means everything. Lisa,